All right. All righty. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Buffalo Bills. And why are the Buffalo Bills 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away. During the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. And then finally, also in the description box below, there's 3 links. The top one takes you to my Facebook group. Then I got a Twitter. It's Twitter. It was Twitter. It is Twitter. It'll always be Twitter. Whatever Elon Musk is, whatever letter of the alphabet he's calling it nowadays. But to me, it's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. And then I got a TikTok account. I put some videos up there if you want to check that out there. But also my Facebook group is called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's what do we have in there? What do we got? We have over 6,800 members. It's doing very, very well. So if you want to check that out, join that. I put stuff in there every day. Not only do I put stuff in there, but the members post stuff in there as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in there every day, darn near 365. If I'm alive and breathing and I have internet access, there's stuff going in that group, right? So all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Before we get too far, how about them Cowboys, huh? Looking pretty good. Only down 28-10. Dak just threw another interception. Hard to believe, I know. Dak and interceptions, they just kind of go hand in hand, don't they? 28-10. 49ers got the ball around midfield. 1st and 10. All right, gotta love it, baby. Looks like the Cowboys are going to go down in defeat. The Eagles are still undefeated, but they haven't played a team yet, basically. I don't think they've played a team yet with a winning record. Somewhere along the line, it's amazing. They make it to the Super Bowl and they have like the easiest schedule, like all of football. I'm not quite sure how that really works out like that, but I guess the Eagles got to pay somebody to get back to the Super Bowl, right? So I guess so. The Eagles paid to get an easy schedule. So, but they'll lose sooner or later because they suck. And the Cowboys, it looks like they're going down in defeat. So the Cowboys after tonight looks like they'll be 3-2, and they're getting a rear end handed to them. I think we're getting close to the end of the third quarter here with them Cowgirls, shall I say. The Cowgirls have 6 first downs in 3 quarters. Looking really good. Really, really good. So at least a lot of those Cowgirl fans, I won't be hearing much from them after tonight. You always hear like a lot of those Facebook groups and stuff like that. The Cowboys just shooting their mouths. Cowboy fans just shooting their mouth off. Well, I won't be hearing much about them after tonight. So the 49ers certainly, without question, look like the cream of the crop. Without question, because they got their offense and they got the defense. Eagles, I'm not too crazy about their defense, especially their pass coverage. And the only way they can win on offense, they have to do the tush push like 300 times a game, right? For them to do anything. So, and you take the Eagles, if their offensive line gets a little dinged up, There we go. Purdy with another pass to Jennings down to the Dallas 23. First down. Looks like the 49ers are going to put on some more points here. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But I mean, the Eagles, if their offensive line gets dinged up any way, shape, or form, they might be in some trouble. But anyway, we're here to talk about the dumpster fire that the New York Football Giants are. The 2023 dumpster fire that the Giants are. Another game, another loss, another pretty much straight up embarrassment. Another game. So what do we got? Let's see here. So we got the Seahawks, right? We got the Cowboys, and now we have the Miami Dolphins, right? So the Giants have played 3 games. So the Seahawks, Dolphins, Cowboys. So 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. The offense has not scored a touchdown. How pathetic is that? And once again, there's a 5th straight game in a row. Our New York Giants on offense have not scored an offensive touchdown in the first half. 5 games haven't scored an offensive touchdown in the first half. Thankfully, Jason Pinnock, because I think he's the one who tipped it. Pinnock just happened to be there. Johnny on the spot, down the sideline. I mean, if you want to call it that, kept us in the game for a little bit. But I mean, Dolphins just pretty much walking up and down the field on the Giants pretty much at will. I was by like a 10-point play right there because it was 3rd down, right? If it got tipped, fell incomplete, they would have kicked the field goal, would have made it 17-3. The Dolphins would have had to lead. But instead, we got 7. So that was a 10-point play right there. So that was huge. I mean, you got to, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you want to say give the Giants some credit. It's hard to say that, but it was 31-16. We had the ball. It was late in the 4th quarter, but we were driving, for a touchdown. We just fell a little bit short. So it is what it is. But I mean, it's hard, really, after looking at this debacle. Once again, really to come up with much of anything really positive on here. We have no running game. We have no passing game. Waller got, he got some receptions. He got some targets, which is good. Our offensive line, I mean, it's just, I don't even, there's not a word in the dictionary to describe how unbelievably horrible their offensive line is. I don't know. I mean, because one of it is like also it's sometimes, and I know we got guys in there obviously out of position. I get that, and we got guys coming up off the practice squad, and is the 5th week in a row we got a different new set of offensive linemen and stuff. But I mean we're on pace here to get sacked over 100 times in a season. I think you got sacked 7 times today. So in 5 games he got sacked. So that means at this pace, in 15 games, the Giants will get sacked 90 times. So then you figure, so 6, it says like 102 times. I think the record is 104. But I mean, so I don't know if the Giants will actually set a record, but I mean, I don't know. It's very, very, very disheartening. What we got here? Jusic. To the Dallas 1-yard line, catch the pass down to the 1. 49ers are 1 yard away from making maybe 35-10 ball game. They'll probably let the clock run out, so we'll be heading into the 4th quarter, and the Cowboys could be down into the 3rd quarter. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. 49ers could be punching it in and make it 35-10. Cool, like it. Because the important thing here is that, especially if you hate the Eagles and the Cowboys, you want the 49ers to stay unbeaten because you want them to have the home field advantage. So you want the championship game, if they make it that far, to go through San Francisco. So that way you don't want it to go through Philly or Dallas, right? So you want the 49ers, well, I do anyway, to have the home field advantage where they can, have the championship game at their house, right? And hopefully this year they'll be healthy if they have to play the Eagles in the championship game. So that way, at least they'll have a fighting chance. But anyway, back to the Giants debacle. I mean, it just their run defense was just porous. Their They gave up over 500 yards of offense. Thankfully, they had the turnovers, right? The 3 turnovers, or certainly could have been worse. The Giants, got it. Little props there. The Giants actually got their first 3 turnovers of the season. Okay, that's sometimes that happens a lot. That's sometimes when they come in bunches. So maybe next week against Buffalo. Allen has its capability of throwing some interceptions. Right, so maybe the Giants might get a few turnovers there next week as well. But sometimes it's kind of like sacks. Sometimes when you get sacks, they do come in bunches. Let's see here. What did whoops. I said so the Giants got their first 3 turnovers. Here we go. I forgot. It just box score, game recap, box score, team stats. Here we go. Just trying to see how many sacks. Whoops. Giants got 1 sack. Giants got sacked 7 times. Of course, one of them, Daniel Jones got pummeled. The guy, I don't know. It's how much of it is the fact that, there's no cohesion with the offensive line play whatsoever. And then some of it, how much is it, the coaching, right? There was one play I seen Evan Neal. I just can't. Sometimes you can't even talk. Sometimes you just can't even talk. It's kind of like they snapped the ball. Evan Neal was like backing up. There's a rusher coming from an edge rusher coming somebody from the outside, and Neal turns to the inside. And he's like blocking nobody, backing up, guy coming in off the edge, and he turns in this way, and he's like, start looking in here. The guy runs around Neal and goes and sacks. It's like, what are you doing? And then like the one when Jones got hurt, I think it was McKeithen, or was that Azudu, whoever it was, the tackle, he just ran right around him. Oh my goodness! Didn't even get touched. And I said, once again, I know, that there's no cohesion. The guys haven't played together, right? So they're not familiar with playing together. But, man, is it that bad? Oh, touchdown. Hopefully extra point. Hopefully be 35-10. Yes. Cool. Love it. I'm sure the Cowboys are going to the playoffs, but it's nice to see them get their rear ends handed to them just to go to show them that they're not that good. But how much of it also is coaching, right? Why? Also, when are we going to make? Yeah. And I understand it's kind of tough to do it like in the middle of the season. Let's make a change. Let's make a coaching change, or fire a coordinator or something. Bring somebody else in, and I get it. Sometimes during the middle of the season, I guess maybe that's not the appropriate time. But when are we going to start holding some of these coaches accountable? My God, we've been the absolute worst offensive line for years. And the coach we have right now is not helping out. Not. Johnson, absolutely horrible. All right, what do I this is just absolutely freaking atrocious here. Dolphins, 524 yards of offense. Let's see, what do they have? And, the Giants, the Giants had 17 third downs. The Dolphins only had 8 because a lot of times they didn't even get the third down. If we look at it, what was it? Play by 3 other drives were just, let's see here. No, that was 8 plays. Where's the 3 plays? Yeah, even 7 3 yards, and they went okay. 4th and 3 at the Giants 45. Gillian punts to the Miami 6-yard line. I mean, it got down there. I mean, good play, by Gillen. We got the ball all the way down inside the 10-yard line. But then, 3 plays. The A-chain, right? That guy was good. Isn't he good? What? Wow. 76-yard touchdown run off left tackle. 3-play drive. 3 plays, 94 yards, touchdown. Then of course, we give up a touch. Then we give up a after we get the interception, we let them walk right down the field, and of course they kick a field goal going into halftime. But as bad as it was still only down 17-10 at halftime. You still got a chance, if you want to call it that. But then they get the ball to come out for the start of the third quarter. 3 plays, 75 yards? 3 plays, 75 yards. And it started off with an incomplete pass. And then it was a 3-yard pass, a 6-yard pass play. So they got the ball right at their own 31-yard line, and Tyreek Hill, 69 yards for a touchdown. So 3-play drive. And then they had the interception. And then the Giants went 4. Thankfully for the Giants, after they got that the next interception, they had, it was in Miami's territory, because the Giants went 4 plays for 4 yards. So they couldn't go anywhere against not a very good Miami defense. So we went 4 plays, 4 yards, and we kicked the field goal to make it, was it 24-13. Then there was an 8-play, 75-yard drive. Some of these drives are just killers, absolute killers. Let me see here. I know there was another. I'm forgetting. There was another long play in there somewhere. But it's absolutely just killers. Is this a touchdown here? No, that's not it. Well, anyway. I don't. It leaves you rather speechless. Rather speechless. So I saw some of these articles here, and these kind of wraps up some of the stuff here. This is just absolutely it's unbelievable. And this here was it, the New York Post. They're grading the Giants team here for the offense. They grade the Giants offense, got an F. Daniel Jones knows what it's like to be the Pinata logo. He was battered and beaten and knocked from the game early in the fourth quarter with a neck injury. He was sacked 6 times and had no chance. The line is pathetic. Joshua Ezeudu had to be taken off the field. That is how bad he was. Ezeudu is being asked to play left tackle and is not going well at all. He was called for 3 penalties during one series. It's unbelievable. Injured left tackle Andrew Thomas cannot be back soon enough. Rookie Eric Gray, 12 carries for 5 yards and 1 fumble. Got his most extensive look as a ball carrier, and it was not a successful showing. But it was not a successful showing, but how much of it had to do with the fact that there was no holes to run through, right? Darren Waller, 8 catches for 86 yards. There you go, was more involved, but averaging only 3.6 yards on his 5 catches is not what it envisioned. Let's see. 5 is not what we envisioned for Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's see. The defense, they graded the defense an F. Big plays killed this unit. There was a 76-yard TD run by the A-Chain, 28-yard TD catch and run by Tyreek Hill, a 64-yard Tua to Hill connection, and a 69-yard. Oh, that was the one I was talking about, the 64-yard. Knew there was another long one in there. And then a 69-yard Hill TD pass, badly chasing Trey Hawkins. These are called chunk plays. It added to a big rushing game for the A-Chain. 11 carries, 150. He averaged almost 15 yards a carry, 14 yards a carry. And a big receiving game from Hill, 9 catches, 181 yards. Dolphins amassed 524 yards of offense. That is not a misprint. Get this. The Giants forced 3 turnovers, thankfully. You can imagine how many points they might have scored. Their first 3 of the season, and at times made 2 at 22 out of 30 for 308 yards. Look a bit shaky. But how about that 102-yard interception return for TD by Jason Pinnock? He was fortunate that Bobby Okereke did not pick off the pass first. Okereke got his interception in the third quarter. There was a fumble forced by Xavier McKinney and recovered by Kayvon Thibodeau. There was also a sack by Kayvon. We know A-Chain is fast, but perhaps McKinney could have taken a better angle on A-Chain's 76-yard TD sprint. I mean, yeah, you give up 500 yards of offense. That's pathetic. Special teams, they graded him with a B. This team asked too much of Graham Gano. He missed the 55-yarder, unfortunately. A little, But how many 50-plus yard field goals does that guy make on a consistent basis? I mean, we're so lucky to have that guy. I mean, just consistency. 41-10, another touchdown. Yes. 41-10, baby. Gotta love it. Well, we got one play, 26-yard, 49ers whooping up on him. Mason, 26-yard rush, 41-10. Is it? I guess they haven't tried the extra point yet. Yes, cool. Cowboys are getting their rear ends handed to them. Absolutely love it. They absolutely stink. Love it. But of course, then Graham Gano kicked a 49-yarder and a 51-yarder. Jamie Gillen did not overhit his first punt, and it pushed Miami back to the 11-yard line. His next punt rolled to the 6-yard line and forced a fair catch on the 10. There were no penalties by this unit, a marked improvement from a week ago. So they graded them a B. That's fair. And then the coaching. Oh, my goodness. This was bad on both sides of the ball. At least the special teams weren't a disaster. The offense is a pop gun attack, and it's clear Brian Daboll does not trust the offensive line. Well, I mean, what offensive line? I mean, my goodness. Which is why Mike Kafka calls so many plays designed to get the ball out of his hands of the quarterback. Daboll seems sensed this was not going to be a low-scoring affair and went for a 55-yard field goal early in the second quarter. Defensive coordinator Wink Martindale said preparing for the Dolphins' speed kept him up at night. Well, he probably won't get much sleep after his guys gave up big play after big play. They graded them, the coaching with an F. And got here. What do we got here? 4 things we learned from the Giants' loss. I mean, the offensive line didn't magically get fixed in 1 week. Oh, my goodness. It's just horrible 1 week after the other. Absolutely horrible. The operating word to describe the 2023 Giants offense in 3.5 of their first 4 games was ineptitude. Nothing changed over the past 6 days that we expected to. The Dolphins' defense front is good. It's not great. And it's okay. They look like the 49ers or the Eagles or the Cowboys front, though. Once again, Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll ran a very conservative offense. They had to. I mean, what are you going to do? Dan, you get the ball, right? Get shotgun, get some motion going on here and all that. You get the ball, you stand in the pocket for about 5 seconds. We're going to have some patterns. We're going to have one guy deep here, another guy deep. So you got to make sure you stand in the pocket for like 5 seconds and wait for those long, deep patterns to open up. Once they open up, then you step back and you just, right? I mean, you frick kidding me? I mean, it's like, how many 2-yard pass plays can we call? Get the ball, just throw it. Get the ball, just throw it. That's all. I mean, as the ball's coming back to him, there's 17 defensive players in the backfield within like half a yard of him getting ready to rip his head off. I mean, what kind of offense are you going to run with that? Once again, Mike Kafka ran a very conservative. Once again, it didn't matter much as the offensive line consistently gave up pressures on Daniel Jones. Earlier on, Miami took a play out of the Seattle playbook and lined up a free rusher on Evan Neal's side. Once again, Neal said, sorry, my responsibility is inside, and Jones was a sitting duck. Should Jones have changed the protection? Should he have dumped off to a hot read? Should Neal have switched to take on the free rusher? Whatever the answer, the Giants haven't learned how to deal with these situations. And how much is it? Once again, how much of this is actually coaching, right? Neal continued to play matador pass blocking throughout the game. On the other side, Joshua Ezeudu had a different answer. He either hold or he jumped. He jumped before the snap. He had 3 penalties and was eventually replaced by Matt Parrott. This is like almost like a comedy routine. It's just unbelievable how absolutely, positively freaking pathetic a football team can be. Unbelievable. Just unprepared, absolutely abysmal, atrocious, just total 100% trash. It's unbelievable. Oh, man. And of course, we're rebuilding, right? So I can hardly wait for next year to see what next year is going to for the Giants. I mean, oh my goodness. This is unbelievable. It is. Oh man, this is funny. Let's see. Marcus McKeithen got hurt and was replaced by Jalen Mayfield. Oh my God, from the practice squad, who had a holding penalty, as did starting center Ben Bredesen. Maybe I forgot, and it says also maybe I forgot other penalties, but when they weren't being penalized, the line was giving up pressures on probably a majority of the plays. Jones was sacked 6 times and took one hit that gave him a neck injury, a recurrence of his never-explained 2021 problem. Or is it something new with his neck? Whatever, Tyrod Taylor replaced him and took a sack himself. It would have been more were it not for Tyrod's amazing escapability. Giants quarterbacks were hit 14 times and scrambled away from pressures probably another half a dozen or more times. Oh, my God. For the record, Jones played better than he did against Seattle. He even had a couple of deep passes, one that should have been a touchdown to Darren Waller that Waller dropped, and another on which Darius Slayton couldn't come down with it as his feet in bounds. There was another occasion in which Jones may have been looking to go deep to Jalen Hyatt, but was unable to because of pressure. Last discussed is the offensive line's performance on running plays. The Giants had 85 yards rushing. They haven't been awful, but neither have they opened up gaping holes for the running backs. This is a problem for a team that has to be run first to move the ball, and whose best running back, the on the shelf again, Saquon Barkley, is the only one with a 10-plus yard run this season. I mean, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, what do we got now here? And of course, we have Daniel Jones. It was only a matter of time before a poor offensive line play led to the quarterback getting hurt. I mean, you look at how many sacks, but how many times has he been hit? So much the sacks, but I mean, just getting hit. It's just unbelievable how many times they've. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Good old Van Ginkel of the Miami Dolphins came screaming around the edge past an utterly helpless Joshua Ezeudu, who I don't even think he even touched him. And I think Ezeudu just did an all-out dive, and he still missed the guy. What are we doing? So Van Ginkel smashed into Jones, and Jones did not get up. Jones reached one knee, was assisted off the field, and went directly to the Giants locker room. He was diagnosed with a neck injury, the severity, which is unknown. We'll find out more. Oh, he's going to get some more, like an MRI or whatever it'll be on tomorrow. It says when we see him play again is anyone's guess. He told Coach Brian Dable after the game that he would be okay. He told reporters during a post-game press conference he gamely held that he felt fine and that he would have further testing on Monday. Last time Jones suffered a neck injury, he ended up on the injury reserve and missed the final 6 games, like everyone else. All we can do right now is wait for the test results. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it's Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it's like Zudu is like he just ran right around a Zudu, and Zudu he did actually touch him, but he ran right around them, and Zudu was like did like an all out dive for him. I mean, he barely touched him. I mean, unbelievable, just trash, absolute. And I know he's playing that, but I mean, my goodness, it's like I don't know. And it says, good old, there's a stat here. Daniel Jones, he's been sacked. He leads, he's actually well ahead of Sam Howell now. Sam Howell's been sacked on 13% of his plays. Daniel Jones has been sacked 16% of his plays. And you wonder why, like, with the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes, and they're always so good, blah, blah, blah. Patrick Mahomes has been sacked 1% of his plays. 1%. So basically, Patrick Mahomes, when he drops back to pass, out of every 100 passes, he gets sacked once. Daniel Jones, every 100 passes, he gets sacked 16 times. Let's see here. I mean, Baker Mayfield, Tua sacked 3% of the time. I mean, Jared Goff, 4% of the time. Dak Prescott, 4% of the time. Josh Dobbs, he's only been sacked 5% of the time. Imagine if he got sacked as many times as how bad he'd be, right? I mean, it's just simply amazing, absolutely amazing how many times he's been sacked. And don't get me wrong, he is not, he's not Mr. Innocent either. He certainly has his problems, without question. Let's see here. It says here in this article, a Jones injury was inevitable. The lack of ability to run and any resemblance of consistent offense was also entirely predictable. At 1-4, with no end to their misery in sight, of course, there will be the chatter in the fan base about whether or not the Giants should draft Williams of USC or Drake May of North Carolina, the top two quarterbacks in the draft class, if they're in position to do so in April. So the only thing is now, while they might have to trade up, they might have to trade up if they're thinking about doing that. Just if, that's all I'm going by. They might have to trade up and actually, which could come in handy, although it did not happen with Shane, right? But it's, the Giants, Bears, little connection going on. The Bears got, as of right now, that's all I'm going by, as of right now, Bears have the top 2 picks in the draft. So if the Giants were whatever, I don't know if they're 5, 6, 7, number 10, whatever, if they could trade, it depends, what they think. Because they can get out of the Daniel Jones contract after next season. In the following season, they would have about $20 million in dead cap space. But they could next season not to have Daniel Jones. And unless they want to, they can get rid of him, but they're going to have like $60 million in dead cap money. So I don't think they want that. But, if they think they want to draft another quarterback, they might have to trade up with the Bears, because you figure Justin Fields, if the Bears, I'm just saying once again, we're far from the end of the season and anything can happen. But I mean, the Bears have the top 2 picks. If they got Justin Fields, if they think they can roll with Justin Fields, they're not taking a quarterback. So they might be ripe for the picking if the Giants could trade up with them and get that number 1 pick or the number 2, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be interesting to see what the Giants wind up trying to do, with the with their picks, see which way they want to go. But I don't. I know everybody's wanting to take the guy from USC. That's for sure. All right, and of course, as I said, his injury. We'll have to wait and see, because I mean, how many times do you want to get an injury to your neck? Huh? How many times? And do you want to have your injury? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. That's all I have to do. It was the injury once again. Is it the same thing? Is it something different? Once again, how many times you want to get an injury to your neck? And I understand you want to play and all that stuff and everything, but Do you really want to play behind this offense? It doesn't even matter if Andrew Thomas is in there or not. I mean, the rest of them, it's absolute trash. Absolute trash. I mean, even as I'm saying, even if you have Andrew Thomas and Michael Schmitz is in there, the rest of the guys just seem like absolute trash. How many times do you want to get sacked? How many more times during the season you want to get hit? How many more times in your career do you want to get sacked and hit? You know, if you got another neck injury, you know, that's scary. That's some scary stuff. You know, head injuries, concussions, neck injury, you know, that's some scary stuff. So, I mean, this is the fourth time in 5 games the Giants have been held to fewer than 20 points. Their 268 yards of total offense was actually their second highest total of the season. How unbelievably pathetic is that? Carl Banks said it. I mean, Carl Banks on the Giants offensive line, they are giving up 7 or 8 sacks a game. This is not professional football. I mean, the Giants, I think it's like their 5th different starting offensive line. I mean, they had Neal, Zudu, McKeith, and Schmitz and Glowin. Oh, that's Schmitz was in there. But, I mean, you know, some of these guys, I mean, just let's see here. Waddell got injured once again. He came back in, but he gets injured a lot, unfortunately. Let's see here. I'm just reading some stuff here on Twitter. Some of the stuff says, what is the record for the most sacks allowed in the season? And it says, if you were curious, the most sacked team in NFL history was the 1986 Philadelphia Eagles, who allowed 104 sacks. So the Giants are on pace to come very close to that, which is, you can't even imagine how horrible that is. You cannot even imagine how horrible that is. Even if the Giants do, say, tie that record, the Eagles would still have it because back then, remember, there was only 16 games in the schedule. And if the Giants even come close to that, the Giants are obviously playing 17 games. I mean, some of these stuff on Twitter is just unbelievable. I mean, while the Giants defense did a good job of holding the Dolphins to 31 points, head coach Mike McDaniel's team was moving the ball up and down the field throughout the game. Miami had more than 500 yards of offense for the 3rd time in 5 weeks. The 8 chain had another incredible game, 151 yards rushing, 1 touchdown on 11 rushing attempts. Simply amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Dolphins they now have the 7th fastest ball carrier speeds registered in the NFL this year. Tyreek Hill is number 1. 8 chain is 2 and 3. Tyreek Hill is number 4. Mostert is number 5. Hill is number 6. And 8 chain is number 7. Unbelievable. Hill is the fastest. He's registered 22.01 mile per hour play. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And of course, Miami will host a winless Carolina Panthers team in week 6. So look for the Dolphins to prevail once again in the they played a winless Carolina Panthers team. I mean, I just don't know where this is just let's see here. I mean, what did they have? They had 222 yards rushing. They averaged 9.7 yards a rushing attempt. 9.7 yards a carry. Of course, I mean, the one from A-Chain, the long one, of course, that helps skew the numbers quite a bit. Giants averaged 2.9 yards a carry. 2.9. Giants averaged 3.9 yards per play. 4.7 yards per pass attempt. Relate that. The Dolphins averaged 9.7 yards per pass attempt. Almost 10 yards per pass attempt. The Dolphins averaged almost 10 yards. Giants 4.7. And the Giants didn't, and the Giants had no turnovers either. Didn't turn the ball over at all. And thankfully, they got 3. Could you imagine if the Giants lost the turnover battle, what the score could have been? It's one of those things. It's really, really tough to kind of figure, where do you go from here and this, that, and the other thing. There is no, magic wand that's going to be waved. I mean, you just see the deficiencies that the Giants have and what they need to work on. Certainly, without question, they certainly need, obviously, offensive line depth. Do they still believe in Daniel Jones? What are they going to do with Saquon Barkley? Are we going to get a number one wide receiver? You can just see we have a lot of deficiencies. It's also because the run defense was supposed to have been improved this year. Has not improved. What are we going to do if you don't re-sign Adoree Jackson? Now you're going to have to get, they got Banks, Trey Hawkins. Maybe he could be a backup cornerback. So now you got to go out, maybe get two cornerbacks. I mean, where do you go? Then the same thing with Xavier McKinney. Are you going to wind up signing him long-term? Or are you going to, maybe let him go and try to bring in another safety? Got a lot of questions, a lot of question marks, Oh, man. And, of course, then we have the Bills on next week. Of course, once again, prime time. Good old Giants prime time. Not looking good once again. We're looking at pretty much staring 1-5 right in the face, and you could probably pretty much kiss the playoffs goodbye. It is what it is. Looks like it's going to be a long season. Long season. What do we play? 5 games? So we got 12 games left to go. It's one of those seasons where you kind of you just try to say it as it is, hard as it is, and all that. You try to find maybe the beauty in small things, because that's about all you got. I mean, you can go there and just try to, be totally upset and pissed off every week, game in and game out, because that might quite wind up happening. We're going to lose by, it looks like, a lot more games by the end of the season. Or as I said, if somebody starts coming on and looking like maybe if Micah McFadden continues to do well, right? Or maybe Bobby Carriquet starts asserting himself in the last whatever. Or if, we got Isaiah Simmons and they start finding roles for him and he starts doing well and we re-sign him, right? Tay Banks, continues to do well, right? If Jason Pinnock continues to, look for little things that we can help look for the future to maybe to build with going forward. Because we got a lot more questions than we have answers. We got questions everywhere. And especially with the offensive line, how much of it is obviously the fact that, we are, scraping the bottom of the barrel with far as talent that we're putting on the field. It's because we're injured. Any team out there had all the injuries that we'd have, they'd be putting backups in there who would be doing not very good jobs. It is what it is. But how much of it is the fact that, we don't have the great talent? Our backups don't have good quality depth. The Giants don't on the offensive line. And once again, how much of it is coaching? Are we going to keep, we had problems last year with our offensive line. We drafted a center in the second round, right? We got a first-round pick at right tackle. We got a first-round pick at left tackle. We got a second-round pick at center, right? And we still stink. How much of it is coaching? I can go, if you go throughout the league and you look at some good top, some of the offensive line units out there, the top of the line, right? You can go to some of them. Maybe not so much the Eagles, because the Eagles, they've spent some high quality picks on their offensive line, but they got good coaching. Really got good coaching. But I know you can go out throughout the league, right, and look around at some of the offensive lines that are serviceable or decent. And you look at some of them, this guy's the 3rd-round pick, and that guy's a 4th-round pick, and the right guard, he's a 4th-round pick. Wow, they're doing that. Well, they're averaging 4.5 yards a carry, or they only gave up 7 sacks so far, and they got a 5th rounder, a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, yeah. We got a 1st round or a 2nd round, we stink. I mean, what? Yeah. How much of it is coaching? I mean, because, once again, it's the same thing with insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I got to get it during the regular season. It's kind of tough to, find guys maybe who are available, especially during, unless there's somebody who's retired who you might be able to contact or whatever, and hope and pray maybe they come out of retirement or whatever. Who knows? But I mean, during the regular season, it's kind of tough to, get a coach to, especially if they're working with another team. But I mean, things have got to change. It's just absolutely unbelievable, because you look at how well we did last season. Yes, against, weaker opponents, but we won. And we weren't getting blown out of the building. I mean, we got blown out the 2 times against the Eagles. We lost the two games against the Cowboys. Well, we were beating the Cowboys both games in the 3rd quarter. And we wound up losing by like 1 score to the Cowboys, both games. The Cowboys, without question, last season with a better team, both games, without question. But we only lost by 1 score. Here we lost by 40 points the first game, and we were supposedly upgraded our roster, and we lost by 40 points. It's just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. And it seems like there's no end in sight. We have no answers. And it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Well, guys, I mean, I guess the only good thing about it, unfortunately, the Eagles lucked out once again, and they won. Of course, once again, they beat a team that doesn't have a winning record. There's 2 minutes to go. 49ers up 42-10. Cowboys down to defeat. Cowboys will be 3-2 after this game, and they lost by 32 points. Freaking love it. 32 points they lost on the road against a good quality team. They stink. And I can't wait for the Eagles to take their first defeat too, because they stink as well too. All right, guys. Well, I wish there was some good news, but if and when there'll be good news, who knows? We do know, of course, we're in a rebuilding process. So, but I mean, just to keep getting blown out game in and game out is just an absolute 100% embarrassment. So, guys, well, it's been almost 48 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!